Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is me Utsav, and in today's video I'm going to review this Root Cosmetics Lingerie Collection Naughty Nights palette. And this eyeshadow palette is so colorful and affordable. The actual price of this palette is $18 and 50 cents, but the price of this palette in Nepal is around 2500. It depends on the store. You will see different price in different stores, so the price will be a little bit different if you go to like different store. And if you want to buy this palette, I will mention the store in my description where I bought this palette from. And now, without wasting any time, let's get started. So first I'm applying this Jordana Foundation plus concealer on my eyelid as a base for my eyeshadow, and it's really important to apply a good base before you apply eyeshadow, otherwise you will see no pigmentation and your eyeshadow will not stick to your eyelid. So I like to use brush first to apply concealer on my eyelid because it gives more coverage than Beauty Blender. Beauty Blender absorbs a lot more product, so I like to use brush first and then blend all the harsh line with Beauty Blender. That's what I like to do. So I'm not going to set my concealer because every time I use a really bright eyeshadow, I never set my concealer so that the shadow will look really bright and pigmented. So I have to be fair and use this eyeshadow palette exactly how I use other palettes, otherwise this review won't be proper and honest review. So as you can see, I did my base makeup off camera, so not to ruin it and just to be safe, I'm using this loose powder under my eye just in case if there will be any kind of fallout from eyeshadow. And always use good amount of loose powder under your eye so that if there will be any kind of fallout from eyeshadow, you can brush it away with the help of big fluffy brush. So this is what I have noticed. I see a lot of people of different skin tone using same loose powder, and I'm like, you can get loose powder, pressed powder in different shades, so use a loose powder or any kind of powder that goes for your skin tone. By seeing my watch time of my every single video, it's very clear that you guys don't watch my whole video, and it's really sad because I make so much effort into every single thing that I do, and it takes a lot of time, especially like editing like these YouTube videos. So if you don't want to watch my video, then what you can do is you can like turn down volume completely and you can just like leave it playing. So this is the packaging of the palette. I really love the packaging of this palette because it's different from all the palette that I own, and it's very colorful, it's very unique, it's very different than every single palette I have ever seen. I really love the packaging, and you also get a high quality mirror with this palette, which is really good in this price range, because normally in this price range to get a colorful palette like this with a mirror is very rare. And with the help of flat blending brush, I'm packing this dark purple shade in my crease. So with this purple shade, I'm not going above my crease because I will blend this purple shade with another shade anyway, so it will go above my crease. So I'm not going above my crease with this purple shade. So first impression, I will say this shade is not sticking to my base at all. Like I'm trying really hard to make this shade like stick to my base, but it is not sticking at all. Even without setting my concealer, it is not sticking at all, and I'm trying to build it up slowly. Hopefully it will look good at end, which is the only thing that matters to me, to be honest. Like I said, this shade is not working, so I'm trying to build it up, and with second layer it is looking a little bit better. Not like good, but a little bit better. As you can see, it is looking more pigmented. So I'm not applying this shade all over my eyelid because I will cut my crease in half anyway, so there's no point for wasting so much eyeshadow, and I'm only applying exactly where I need. And I don't know why, but it's really difficult to find a perfect purple shade that blends amazingly, because every single matte purple shade that I have in any palette that I own, it's really difficult to blend. It looks really patchy on person, on camera it looks really patchy. It doesn't look good at all. I'm not going to lie, this shade was really difficult to work with. It was looking really patchy. It is still looking very patchy, and after like 4-5 layers it is looking fine, and as you can see, there's no fallout at all, which is a good thing. And now it's time to blend that shade. I'm taking this very light purple shade which looks more like pink than purple, purple, but this is a purple shade. And with this purple shade, I'm going to only blend the edges of the first purple shade that I applied. While blending the first dark purple shade, I am also following its shape that I created. I applied the dark purple shade from where my eye starts to where my eye ends. And as you can see, the first shade is looking really patchy. It is not blended at all, and I didn't spend that much money to make my eyeshadow look patchy. So the first shade is really disappointing. Second shade is a little bit better than first shade, but first shade is really disappointing. See, pigmentation wise, I will give 10 out of 10 to this palette, but blending wise, I will give 2 out of 10 to this palette because I have never struggled to blend any shades like this in my entire life. As you can see, I'm struggling really hard to blend both shades, first and second, both shades. I'm just being honest. And just to make clear that if 2 shades from this palette is not blending that well, doesn't mean that all the shades from this palette will look patchy. It just means that 2 shades are not working from this palette, and that's it. Now I'm taking this purple shade, which is lighter than the first purple shade that I applied, and I'm applying this purple shade with a blending brush, and I'm applying all over my eyelid and my crease, but I'm not going above my crease because I'm trying to cover the patchiness of the first purple shade. As you can see, I'm trying really hard to blend all that patchiness from the first purple shade, but it is not blending at all. I don't know why all these purple shades from this palette are so difficult to blend. I don't know why, but it is not blending at all. As you can see, like, it is still very patchy. Even after so many layers of eyeshadow, my eye makeup is looking still very patchy. Can you guys see all that patchiness from inner corner of my eyelid to center part of my eyelid? Now I am applying this dark blue shade all over my lower lash line with the help of a blending brush. And I'm trying to connect this blue shade to the purple shade by slowly taking it upward. And the best thing about all the shadows from this palette is that there's no fallout. Can you guys see under my eye? There's no fallout. Sometimes when you're in rush, like, fallouts can be like very messy. It can mess your foundation. You have to redo your foundation. So it can be really messy. So that's the best thing that I have experienced from this palette, that there's no fallout. There's zero fallout. Can you guys see? There's no fallout at all. And also, this blue shade blended way more easily compared to any shade I applied. I'm going to slowly build up this blue shade and make it look more pigmented. And recently I have been obsessed with light shades in my lower lash line. It just makes my eye look really good. It opens up my eye. And after applying dark blue shade in my lower lash line, I'm taking this light blue shade and I'm going to apply this below the dark blue shade. And as you can see, even after tapping off my brush so many times, you can see so much product in my brush, and that's a really good thing. And if you guys do watch my videos and haven't subscribed to my channel, then what are you waiting for? Christmas, New Year? Go subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share with your friends. That will help me a lot. That will motivate me a lot to make more YouTube videos. So if you want me to make more YouTube videos, then do subscribe to my channel, like my videos, comment on my videos, and share it with your friends. That will help me a lot. So please do it for me. And after blending those 2 blue shades together, it's finally time to cut my crease in half with the help of concealer and a flat brush. And for concealer, I'm using Jordana Foundation Plus Concealer, which I used in the beginning of this video as a base for my eyeshadow. And to cut my crease, I'm starting from the point where my eye starts and following my crease line. I'm cutting my crease up to the center part of my eyelid. Never take way less or way more concealer for your cut crease. It will literally ruin your eye makeup. And when you do cut crease, always start with giving shape with concealer and then drag that concealer inside and blend it. And when you do any kind of cut crease, never look up before you set your concealer with any kind of shadow, matte or shimmer, otherwise your concealer will transfer. And never apply way too much concealer on your eyelid to cut your crease, otherwise your eyelid will feel really heavy. And also don't apply way too less concealer, otherwise your shadow won't stick to your cut crease. So don't apply way too much or way less concealer. Now I'm taking this shade called So Hot. It is a very warm yellow shade, and I'm taking that and pressing on top of the concealer. I'm applying it in outer part of my cut crease, and I'm going to apply this shade on top of my concealer until I get that perfect pigmentation. To be honest, this yellow shade is way more better than any other yellow shade I use from any other palette. And I will also apply another yellow shade, so I'm only applying this shade on outer part of my cut crease.
Ryan Little.
So as you can see, after a few layers of the shadow, it is finally looking better. It is looking better than I expected, to be honest, because first few shades I used were really patchy. So this shade turned out looking really good. I'm really happy with this shade. Now I'm taking this yellow shade. This yellow shade is way more brighter than the other yellow shade I used. And I'm applying this shade from inner corner to center part of my eyelid. And I'm trying to blend this yellow shade with the first yellow shade I applied. And as you can see, this shade is looking way more like neon than yellow. It looked really bright in the pan, but I didn't expect it to look this neon. But I'm not mad, to be honest, because the transition from my inner corner to outer part of my cut crease is looking really stunning. I love how it is looking, to be honest. I am adding more and more until I get that perfect color. I want my inner corner to be really bright, so I'm adding as much as I can. After applying few layers of that yellow shade, now I'm taking this bright pink shade in a blending brush, and with the help of this pink shade, I'm blending the end of my cut crease so that the transition from yellow shade to purple shade will look really good. And after blending that pink shade in end part of my cut crease, it is looking more like orange than pink after being blended with yellow shade. And it's finally time to give my final opinion on this palette. I will give this palette 7 out of 10 because all the shades from this palette are very pigmented but very difficult to blend. So I will give this palette 7 out of 10. Like, it is really difficult to find a really good rainbow palette in this price range. So I will say this palette is not that bad. And I applied loose powder under my eye just in case something happens, but as you can see, there is no fallout. There is zero fallout from any shades from this palette, so I will say that is a really great thing. So if you are planning to buy this palette, then remember that all the shades take a little bit more time to blend and all the shades are a little bit patchy. I'm not gonna lie, all the shades are very pigmented and vibrant, but they are a little bit patchy for me. Like, it didn't work that well for me, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. And after removing all that loose powder from my face that I had on my face for baking with the help of blending brush, now I'm applying a little bit white liner in my waterline just to make my eye look really big. And after that, I'm applying a little bit highlighter in my inner corner and my brow bone. I applied mascara, fake lashes and everything else off camera. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video and share it with your friends. And thanks for watching, guys.